It's December 30th, 2019, and I'm sad to say Ron Nasty is dead.
I feel bad, I feel happy, I feel sad. Am I in love? I must be in love. I feel rich, I feel full, I'm in doubt, I feel sure. Am I in love? I must be in love. Any time of the day I can see her face when I close my eyes. She's a dream, she is real, can't explain how I feel. Am I in love? I must be in love. Any time of the day I can see her face when I close my eyes. Am I dead? Am I alive? Can my poor heart survive? Am I in love? I must be in love. I feel good, I feel bad, I feel happy, I feel sad. Am I in love? I must be in love. I must be in love. I must be in love. I must be in love.
Hey vinyl community, Neil Innes passed away. If you don't know the name Neil Innes was Ron Nasty in the Rutles. Neil Innes wrote with Eric Idle most of the songs, all the songs with the Rutles. Neil
Time goes by as we all know, naturally. People come and people go, naturally. Let's be natural. Ever since the world began, let's be natural. Every woman, every man, let's be natural. Let's follow nature's plan, let's be natural. Oh yeah.
So Neil Innes not only was he in the Rutles as Ron Nasty, prior to that he was in the Bonzo Dog Doodah band. And every time I try to say that over and over again, it's really hard for me to say. So I'm glad at least they also dropped the Doodah, and it's the Bonzo Dog Band. Bonzo Dog Band were sort of a novelty comedy musical troupe, very much in the realm of a post-Goon, the Goon Show, which was popular in the UK with Peter Sellers and Spike Milligan and another person I'm blanking out who. The hit they had, the mild hit in the UK was Urban Spaceman, a song Neil Innes wrote and a song that was produced by Apollo C. Vermouth, a pseudonym for Paul McCartney. So there's always a Beatle connection. You know, if you've been watching my my videos here in any ongoingly, is that a word, ongoingly? If you've been continually watching my videos, you know that everything is a Beatle connection. And we can find that lineage, kind of like 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon. But anyway, this is a UK comp, best of, overview of Vivian Stanchel, Legs Larry Smith, kind of fun stuff. They also did a song which they played in the Magic Mystery Tour film, the Beatles film, in the strip club. And that song became a name of a band in the 90s called Death Cab for Cutie. So there's always a connection of some kind of pop music. But again, Neil Innes went in and out of the whole comedy musical thing. Very creative writer. And we'll just, you've seen the Rutles clip. And now let me show you a little song, the hit song by Bonzo Dog Band.
I'm the urban spaceman, baby. I've got speed. I've got everything I need. I'm the urban spaceman, baby. I can fly. I'm a supersonic guy. I don't need pleasure. I don't feel pain. If you were to knock me down, I'd just get up again. I'm the urban spaceman, baby. I'm making out. I'm all about.
Those of you who are Monty Python fans probably definitely know that Neil Innes was a part of the troupe, not a main member, but a very important musical contributor to the Pythons. If you saw the movie Monty Python and the Holy Grail, he's the minstrel following Robin around in Sherwood Forest, singing those wild bits about he'll gouge his eye out and they'll kill him. And I'm not even going to parody that. I'm not going to put that in here. I don't have that actually on a recording. Or maybe I have a CD. But anyway, you don't need to see that. You get the idea. But a very big part of this had bit parts. If you know, in a lot of these films, Monty Python films, all the actors, all the participants played several parts, and Neil Innes definitely was one of them, and contributed Life of Brian, Holy Grail, and some of the records, including Monty Python's previous record, and Monty Python, Matching Tie and Handkerchief. Really? What's great about this is you get a matching tie and handkerchief with your record. Okay, no one's excited about that one. Okay, let's see what else is in here. Anyway, the background history, humorous, and this is not it's not a promo copy. It was cut that way. So there you go. And this was actually the Monty Python's previous record, was the very first Python record I got, I believe in '72. These are all, this was Buddha, 1972. Eric Idle and Neil Innes collaborated beyond Monty Python, and they did a record and a TV special in the UK called The Rutland Times, and it was basically a parody of a local news and TV station in, I guess, Northern England. And those of you who live in Northern England will tell me that it's not in Northern England. It might be in the south of England, of London. Anyway, it's the suburbs or rural suburbs of London, and kind of small town Hicksville in a way, right? In America, it would be, maybe old days Reno, Nevada, or Turlock, California, or something like that. But great parody of an entire, 12 or 24 hour period, the whole day of the Rutland TV show, Eric Idle and Neil Innes. And on this is where it all started with the Rutles in Rutles for Sale, a 5-minute faux Beatle parody. So the Rutland Times begat the Rutles. And of course, that short video was shown on Saturday Night Live, which later led to the mockumentary that predates Spinal Tap, of a rock mockumentary that Eric Idle directed, and Eric and Neil Innes wrote the music to. And I'll get back to that in 1 second. Just before I get to the Rutles, and we'll close out with the Rutles and a few other things, I want to show the Grimms. Grimms are another comedy offshoot, and this is a combination. Neil Innes is on several tracks on this with part of Scaffold. Scaffold was another British comedy troupe in the late 60s with Mike McGear, Paul McCartney's brother, Mike McCartney, and Roger McGough were the main participants of Scaffold. But they did these albums under the Grimms, Rock and Duck, catchy songwriters. Neil Innes in the background. Anyway, I want to show these. We'll close out with the solo album, but before that, you all know the Rutles. If you don't, you need to watch the mockumentary, All You Need Is Cash. I saw this at a screening, basically a press record screening in San Francisco at a hotel, which was hosted by Derek Taylor. And Derek Taylor kind of did the PR on this. Derek Taylor, of course, was a publicist for the Beatles, wrote some of the liner notes on some of their projects, also worked with the Byrds for a while in America, and Derek Taylor was the person that turned the Beatles on to Harry Nilsson. So Derek Taylor came out and we all went to this hotel. We all got a promo copy of the record. It was a Warner Brothers hosted event. As you can see, it says The Rutles, free record with 20-page booklet. Warner Brothers promo copy. Get that light right there. And what's nice about this, okay, it does come with a book. The staples fell out. I'm sure you've seen this book, Rutlemania Sweeps the Nation. It's pretty amazing the detail they did with the projects. If you've seen the documentary, if the original is based on a BBC documentary on the Beatles, almost frame for frame at parts of it. When the original was shot on video, the Rutles shot it on video. It's on film, it's on black and white, etc. And within this collection, I have several things here. At the event, they served cocktails, and I have my Rutles cocktail napkins from the opening event. I have two extra ones here. So if anyone sends $10,000, I have a PayPal account. For $10,000 per napkin, you can have your own original cocktail napkin. Probably had shared the same airspace with Mazzy and Derek Taylor, the publicist for the Rutles, the Beatles, the Byrds, and other wonderful bands. I also have the PR sheet Warner Brothers put out. And I have a promo 12-inch. This was released to radio and to record stores and radio stations. And this is an EP with 5 songs from the film. And within this, what's nice about this, it's on, again, 1978. It's on Rutlecore. Beautiful yellowish vinyl. And I have the press kit, 24 pages of Rutlemania in black and white. And it has all these faux articles and the press kit of Warner Brothers Set the Way, stay tuned for the NBC special. So I got the entire Rutles press kit and sticker. Have some buttons somewhere too. I don't have them with me here. Anyway, you get the idea. They went all out on this, and when the Rutles aired on NBC, I think it was a 1-hour special, it bombed. Very much like Magical Mystery Tour. So it became a cult thing later on, posted. And now what I don't have here, there was a CD in the mid-90s called Archaeology, I think. The Rutles Archaeology, which was another parody, kind of a new issue, sort of based on the Beatles anthology. Not as good, but interesting for a collector's point of view. So that's pretty much it. We're gonna end here now with Neil Innes' solo album. And I'm gonna play a little cut of that at the end. How Sweet to Be an Idiot. This is a song that, excuse me, Neil sang at the end of most of the Monty Python reunion shows that happened. So, How Sweet to Be an Idiot, Neil Innes, we miss you. Ron Nasty, we miss you. I met him several times, including the last time was in 2014, so 5 years ago, a little over 5 years ago. And there'll be a image just before we go into this song of my encounter with Neil Innes, aka Ron Nasty. Thanks, Lisi. Mazzy loves you.
How sweet to be an idiot, as harmless as a cloud, too small to hide the sun, almost poking fun at the warm but insecure, untidy crowd. How sweet to be an idiot, and if my brain enjoyed to run laughing at my back with no fear of attack, as much retaliation